This is the Anti-Board Games official podcast. I Can Deal, episode number 3. I am Adam.
33.
What?
33.
Did I not say 33?
You
said number 3.
You just said 3. That was a year ago.
Something like that. Yes, that is CJ, and I am Adam, and we have another guest. This is a season of guests, apparently.
Yeah.
We've only had one episode without guest.
We've only had 4 episodes.
Shh. Still, we have a good average, you know. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Alyssa.
So-
Yay.
Alyssa is a friend of mine, which segs very neatly into what we're going to be talking about. And that is
what are we talking about, CJ?
forming relationships with other people through games. It's our Valentine's Day special.
Woo!
And of course, I don't mean necessarily romantic relationships. I am also just talking about friendships. Like all of my friends.
Of course,
And my friends.
I'm instantly brought back to last time we did an episode and what we talked about as we were leaving. We were done recording. CJ talking about the Kama Sutra Kickstarter, quote-unquote, board game, and this kind of lends itself to...
I mean, how else are you going to make friends if you can't pop balloons between your bodies?
And yeah, balloons.
Episode's over. So they are making... To catch you up, they're making a Kama Sutra board table.
It's a card game.
Card game.
That you
Card
don't
game?
use
Yeah.
a table or a board.
Right. So the card will describe the
Depict.
depict.
It's not words like move your leg over here and
Right.
thrust. No.
It will depict like the sexual orientation that you will like. You and your partner will take, and then you put a balloon between you, and you have to pop it.
So a bunch of thrusting and grinding between two people.
It's a great time.
Sounds awkward.
Or very friendship something building.
I have good friends.
Apparently very good or not good after that game.
I don't know what you're implying. Anyway, that is not the only game that you can make friends during.
What? Oh yeah, there's Twister.
There is Twisters. Like this is just the next step, but those are not the only way that you can make games, Adam. I mean, I know. We met through board games.
What? Yes, we did. We met through my meetup.
Yes, and I mean that's how we became friends is through board games.
In Star Wars.
I mean, Star Wars also brings people together.
Yeah.
Right.
Star Wars is a board game.
Star Wars was begrudgingly a commonality that we shared. You liked Phantom Menace, and
I like Star Wars.
That's fine. Well, okay. No, it's cool. No, we're just gonna talk about board games. This is not the Star Wars podcast. No, I think I personally think that it's much simpler to make friends, and get to know people through board games.
Unless you're really competitive and just make enemies.
Is that a trait that you possess?
Yes.
Except you've just said that you make friends playing board
No,
games.
I do. It just sometimes, if the two people are too competitive, they clash.
I feel like that competitive, at least maybe it's just my perspective, is that the only way if somebody's, sure they could be too competitive, but I feel like the major line they cross is if they're a big old jerk head about it, and they're like, I'm going to do this to spite you while being competitive. Then you're like, no. But like sometimes that brings out more connection by like driving to like try to meet them where they're at.
No, I've actually, like, as I've grown, made friends who can handle my competitiveness, so it works out.
You were a gracious winner. Shaking my head. So we played Innis yesterday. And yeah, you weren't smack talking at all during the game, but then you just like slid in and moved, like won snaked victory from everybody. Nobody had any idea that was going to happen, and then you're just like, boom, mic drop. What? Did that. Screw you guys. I'm out.
I have another group of friends that I play board games with, and they say they can always tell in a game if I'm winning or not by my face. So,
do you know what the face is?
Imagine. I think my friend said if I'm losing, it looks something like I'm constipated. So I don't really like that analogy, but I'll accept it.
Got it.
And then obvious joy if I'm winning.
Continue talking. I'll be right back.
Hello. Oh, Adam just left us. Well, it's a good thing I'm not here by myself, talking alone into the microphone. So, that's a part about like getting to know people. Like, people that you play games with learn that you get the constipated face when you're losing. That is not something that you're going to notice about somebody, like, just having a conversation or, like, over dinner. Like, hopefully. I don't know. Like, games just bring out things in people that you would normally not see. It puts them in abnormal circumstances, and you get to see them operate on the fly, essentially. Like, there's no social programming that prepares you for that kind of thing. And so and it's also safe space. Like, there's unless of course you're a terrible loser, like, the most that you've got to lose is just losing. Like, not losing your pride necessarily. Again, of course, you're a sore loser. Not losing money. You're not losing reputation. You're just losing a game. And games are supposed to be fun.
I agree.
Arguably. When you were comparing, like, friends that you game with versus friends that you do not game with, which set of those friends would you say is closer?
That's interesting. Well, I don't have very many friends that I don't game with, though I had friends that I was surprised liked games later, because we've been friends for, like, a long time. Like, one of my high school friends, we played a game together, and I was like, oh, you like games? How did this not come up? You know, like, this is what I do with 90% of my time. But yeah, I mean, my best friend, I don't think we've ever played games, and she lives in California, and we've been friends for, like, 11 years now, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's one of my closest friends, but yeah, I don't know, it's hard to compare, because I play games with most of my friends.
Okay.
I try to play games with most of my friends, but, like, I'm very hesitant to ask certain ones.
Certain friends?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I went on a ski trip, and there was a bunch of friends, and I guess I know everybody will have a good time, but I'm always cautious about trying to ask them to play, because I'm afraid of, like, hey, come play this, instead of doing whatever else it is.
Right. Let me bring out Eclipse, and we'll spend the next 14 hours.
Yes, of course. And Twilight Imperium, no. I mean, it obviously would be smaller games, but I don't know if you guys have ever come across that, like, I hate to say nervous about asking.
All the time.
My part, it's not nervous about asking about things. The only person I can think of played games with her on Friday. I won't name names, but, like, I was concerned about playing with her because she doesn't have a high attention span. She's usually more of a, like, I was worried she was going to get tired of it or, like, get cranky and not want to play with us anymore and not have fun. So I was very glad she had fun, but, you know.
Yeah. Battlestar, there's enough, like, interaction, and, like, it looked like she had a lot of fun.
She did,
the entire time. So
I think to battle quote unquote
Star.
The people who do I need to add another rim shot there? Anyways, to battle the people who you feel doesn't have the attention span, you gotta include. I feel like you have to include games that are everybody's involved at every turn. Like Antidote would be a good example, because I don't know if you've played Antidote. Probably not.
So.
Everybody's doing something on the turn. Like, everybody discards cards. Everybody's passing cards. So everybody's involved. And I think that would help combat the, oh, what's that over there? Or one other game which I haven't played, Battle of Yoho or something like that. And I don't think CJ would like this game because it's a big old pirate game. And your cell phone, the main distraction, is your boat. And you move, your boat is a cell phone. It moves around and has, like, interactions. But you don't have your cell phone to distract you because it's on the board.
Yeah. I won't say I have a strict no cell phone rule. But if you're paying more attention to your cell phone than you are the game, then I get really, like, annoyed.
Fair.
So,
I'll keep that in mind.
No, I have a lot of friends that don't play games. I know those people exist that don't enjoy playing games. It's
Don't enjoy or don't play?
They don't play because they don't enjoy.
Okay.
And if I were to compare, like, the friends that I have that don't play games and friends that I have that I play games with, I know the friends that I play games with far better, for better and worse, than friends. Even friends that I've been friends with for longer, like up to 3 times longer.
So do you think it's because, I mean, I guess it's pretty obvious that you spend more time with those friends that you play games with and perhaps can see more different sides of them?
No.
No?
I see Erin every day.
Oh, yeah, Erin. Well, you play games with her occasionally.
I think she lets me play games with her because she knows how important it is.
But
she's a good sport about it.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't think she enjoys playing games all that much. Or if she does enjoy playing games, they are games that are more puzzly and not, like,
Kuruba.
Splendor and Kuruba.
She hasn't played Kuruba, but...
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, are there other examples besides Erin? Because I feel like Erin... Okay.
Plenty of them.
Okay. Because Erin is a different category since...
She's my girlfriend.
Yeah, and you
Valentine's Day special.
You live with her. Oh, girlfriends. You live with her, so you're always seeing her.
Yeah.
Except when she's on a trip.
Yeah.
So, I didn't know if that was, the only exception.
No, I mean, so I've had friends from just after high school that, like, I've played games with, but they don't play games with them often. Mm-hmm. Generally, when I see them, I'm seeing them at, like, concerts, or I'm seeing them at just drinking at their house or at a party, and still interacting with them, MagFest. Mm-hmm. But I don't play games with them.
Even when I drink at parties, I play games. So
me too.
What?
Those are my favorite kind of parties, actually. And it could just be me, to be completely honest. It was interesting. The people that have been introduced to me through games think that I'm an entirely different person than I perceive myself, or people who have been introduced to me outside of games. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that I am an introvert. That I am not very talkative, and when I have something to say, I don't, like, verbosely go on and on about these things until we're talking about games, and then I'm, like, not only talking about games, I'm on a podcast talking about games every week, and I blab all the time.
CJ's using games to expand his horizons.
Yeah, I mean that make the joke, but I think part of it might be true because, like, it's also it's an easy seg to go from, like, it's a good icebreaker. Mm. It gets people engaged and gets people talking. If I didn't have rules to explain to people, I probably wouldn't say anything. But most of the time, I'm there, like, teaching games and getting to know people, and, like, they ask me questions, we start a dialogue, and all of a sudden we're talking about something else, and or mostly probably just how awesome games are. And I've had friends like, wait, you're an introvert? That's crazy. you strike me as like this extrovert type A kind of person who always likes to be in control. I was like, no, I'm an introvert, super laid back, don't want control ever, type B. And like, so they see a different part of me that's still there, that people who've never played games with me will never see. And so they know me better? I mean, maybe not better. They know a different part of me. Do you feel like you guys are the same way, playing games?
Not completely, no.
Are you competitive and cutthroat in real life?
No, I don't think I'm that way in real life at all, actually. I'm really nice. Smiley, friendly person.
You're the only one that falls into this category, it seems, CJ.
What do you mean? She just said that she's different playing games.
Much more aggressive.
Oh.
Louder, more sort of... Well, that's also just when I'm drunk, though, so... I don't know if there's an overlap there, but...
Is it just because of games, or is it because I'm drinking? I don't know. I do it both all the same time.
Now, question. So we're talking about games and building relationships. Have you ever had experience where... how do I phrase this? Something about something.
No, that's good. Yes, all the time.
Yes. No, like... Have you figured out ways? I don't want to say it this way. I'm trying to think of a way to say it. I'm thinking.
Are you trying to not lead the question?
No. All right. The question I'm thinking, it's not what I want to say, is: have you ever used games to repair a relationship? But it's more so used a game that found ways to use to steer a relationship into a positive direction of somebody you just met.
Well, generally, if I've just met them, I haven't had enough time to fuck things up yet.
True.
But I have used games as a way to interact with people that I've drifted apart from. Rather successfully. I've also used heavy metal to do the same thing. But, yeah, so like Nick, who was on the show 2 weeks ago. Three
Something like that.
Yeah.
2 episodes ago.
2 episodes ago. Like, he and I wouldn't say we had a contentious relationship, but he and I were never like friends. We shared mutual friends, and we were very good friends with those mutual friends, and we always hung out. But he and I are pretty diametrically opposed, like personality wise, and we would never get into fights, but we would never hang out outside of our normal friend group, not with each other at least. Until we discovered that both of us are obsessed with games. And, yeah, we don't get the opportunity to play games very often, but it's a good excuse to get to know somebody that I've never would have otherwise. And he's a cool guy. I mean, you saw him. He's probably listening right now, so you better say something nice.
Catan is not a good game.
I've definitely... So, I'm an extrovert. I have a lot of introvert friends. So...
CJ.
Gaming ends up being a way for me to actually hang out with my introvert friends. And then we can hang out and talk about stuff and have, like, set plans to do things together. Works out well.
Have you come across any barriers about using games with these said introverts?
Not with my introvert friends. It's actually usually my extrovert friends that we get in fights over games. So there was definitely a friend that I fought with a lot. She has since moved away, and I don't have to deal with her anymore. But we were forbidden from ever playing Risk together by our friends because we got in a huge fight.
That game should be forbidden in general. Like that.
Unless it's Star Wars Risk.
Instigates table flipping every time, without fail.
Also, Lenny and I got in a huge fight over Catan the first time we ever played games together.
Because I heard he was a big jerk.
He was. It's true. I've since forgiven him. We play games together all the time now.
So if there's such thing as a sore loser, Lenny is a sore winner.
Yes.
Where he just will do like the most dickish thing possible and then rub it in your face the entire rest of the game.
Got it. So I find it sometimes hard to coax out the introverts into playing games. I know they'll have fun, and like when they do get coaxed out, they'll play, and they'll have a great time. But like, it's, as I said, sometimes it's pulling them out of their shells.
I've honestly had the opposite experience. And it's mostly trying to keep the extroverts engaged and in the game, as opposed to just like paying attention to something else and talking to somebody else about something not game related, and then like not paying attention to what's happening in the game and getting to their turn and be like, what's going on? Well, let me describe the last 6 turns that you ignored. But yeah, we're just losing interest entirely. Like, and I think that's the one that I have the most trouble with some of my friends. Like, and this goes back to what you were asking earlier, is like, well, what kind of games are you going to introduce to these people? Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's just an audience thing. Like, I just, if I know they don't have the attention span for Twilight Imperium, it's not going to hit the table.
Yes.
Well, my friend Laura, though she has played Battlestar and was fine with it, usually suggests a lot more of like party games.
Yeah. Of
which I like Cards Against Humanity and barely anything else. I get really bored with those really quickly.
Yes.
So.
I mean, those ski trip. I was just on the ski trip, and there's people there who were introverts, and there's people who weren't. The people who weren't introverts, I wasn't even bother trying to include them. They're off playing poker, but like the introverts, I was using party games and light games. Billionaire Banshee, that was like a big hit that we played. If you're not familiar with it, quirk, perk card, and it makes a potential date.
And by quirk and perk, he means
you have an island full of chocolate that will never run out of chocolate. Your quirk is random nights of diarrhea.
Right. They are things that are potentially super awesome, and then things that are potentially super bad or awkward.
We came across quite a few that were kind of on the fence, or both bad or both good.
Yeah. It depends who you talk to.
Yeah. Of course, there were some like not write-in cards, but like user submitted ideas that were made all my friends say like, oh, this was submitted by a Redditor probably, or they thought the whole game was a Redditor game. So
you're probably not wrong.
Anyways, so the party games like that are the games I try to bring out the introverts. Maybe that's not they all like playing them, and most of those games are easy for them, so it's not like this big sell that could bog them down. So,
and I don't even know if like I want to draw the line on the introvert extrovert thing. I know it's such an easy way to get to know people for the first time, because one, if you don't know somebody, there's a lot of hot topics and triggers and things that you just don't want to mention, and especially today. And for the past couple months. Like,
we're not talking about Valentine's Day, if you're listening to this.
Right. If you are living in America, you know exactly what we're talking about. But there's things that you just don't want to bring up because one is just going to get people angry and spun up. Or, God forbid, you find somebody who has an opposing view, and now you have a fight. And those things are real. Those aren't fun. You can't walk away from that. Games, on the other hand, they present a safe, neutral space for you to interact with people and already have a built-in way to have a conversation. Unless, of course, you're playing something like Agricola.
Oh, sorry, I was going the wrong direction.
Yeah, the entirely opposite direction.
Well, I could see that game being posing the same problems of avoiding sketchy topics.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I guess it depends where your humor goes.
Yeah. I would probably not play that game with strangers. I would play Agricola with strangers, but only because. But I wouldn't get to know them at all.
True.
Like, there's no conversation. I think Battlestar is probably, like, one of the better games for that.
I played Cards Against Humanity at a bar in Austria. That was fun.
Did you get to know them?
Yeah, I think so. Well, it wasn't strangers because we were on this bus. We were on this bus tour together, so I do feel like I did know them better by the end of it. But
How
and I feel like they
far
see
along?
people see a different side to me in Cards Against Humanity because I have a twisted sense of humor, I guess, that you wouldn't think from talking to me.
So that's Cards Against Humanity?
Yeah.
How far along in this trip was it?
I think it was about midway.
Okay.
So
you had a little time to get to know each other and didn't like, ha ha ha, I'm awful.
yeah. And there was schnapps, so.
I mean, to CJ's point, I feel like the social games, maybe not necessarily party, but like, would you say the same thing about Good Cop, Bad Cop?
Sure.
I mean, like, along, like, Battlestar, you said Battlestar is a great game to get to know somebody. Would you lump Good Cop, Bad Cop in that?
I mean, Good Cop, Bad Cop has a definite sense of eventuality to it.
Mm-hmm.
One, because it's such a short game. And two, like, you're looking at everybody's cards, like, you're just basically, it's a ticking clock to when you're going to get found out. Like, there's essentially inevitable. Battlestar, you can draw that out as long as you want. And you don't really know what kind of game they're playing. And you don't, depending on what version you're playing, you don't have a lot of recourse if you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like, or even if you're right. If you identify somebody as a silent and they have not exposed themselves, your recourse is, well, do I throw you in jail? There's no way to confirm this. Like, and even if you do confirm it, you have to trust somebody else that they're not lying.
CJ's glancing in Alyssa's
Oh no, it's
direction.
funny because she got her friend shot.
I did. I also thought CJ was a Cylon from the very beginning of the game, and he wasn't, but he did end up being a Cylon.
I did end up being
so
a
I was right in the end,
Oh, okay.
just wrong for a good half the game.
Yep.
So, what you're saying, good games to use to get to know people are accusatory games.
No, I'm saying that's a good example
I'm
of...
accusatory. I don't know about anybody else.
So there's this idea of also like a shared struggle, and whether or not that shared struggle is an opposing struggle or like a cooperative struggle. Like I think you made this point just a little bit ago when you're fighting somebody, or maybe it was you. One of you made the point. Like when you're opposing somebody, like you have this, like there's still a connection there. There's still competitiveness where you're trying to like stay on that same like competitive level.
Yeah.
Or when you're cooperating, like you want to contribute. And these are miniature versions of social interaction. Very specific and like narrow, but social interaction nonetheless. And very intense is not the right word, but they're certainly not things that you're going to get out of real life. Ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's why the games exist. They're a heightened version of a very specific instance. And that's kind of what makes them fun. But it also increases your trust, I guess, of the other people around the board. Unless, of course, the other person on the board just ends up being a jerk.
I think Dead of Winter is really fun that way. I always find it amusing when you get towards the end of the game, if there isn't a betrayer, where it comes to the point of, like, how are the rest of you going to help me get to my personal win condition? And find that we all kind of sort of try to work together so everyone gets to win, instead of being like, well, I can't meet my win condition, so I'm going to screw all of you over. And I usually go the other way of, like, from being competitive in Dead of Winter, I'm always willing to sacrifice my personal win so that we all win together. So even if I lose, which I'm still making that face if I'm losing, but I still want us all to win.
Yes.
I want to meet the mission.
I don't know about CJ, but I've never gotten to the end game of Dead of Winter.
I can't remember if you and I played the same game or not.
We played the first time we played. I don't know how many times you've played.
Just that once.
Oh, okay. Like, did we get to the end of that game? I don't know.
We lost.
Well, yes, we lost. But, like, I don't think we got to the end. Like, we didn't make it through
There's
the whole...
more of it after? There's more game?
No, you can end early.
Okay. I mean, we died.
Yeah, we died. We lost. But, like, there's, like, play out 7 days. Did you get, like, make it to the end of the scenario?
I don't know, man. You were there.
I don't think... So
I didn't have a really good recollection of what the hell was going on.
Yes.
I just remembered, like, I was supposed to scavenge and I got et.
Yeah. And I sent the dog to the police station. Some people, like, talked to the dog. Like, here's some guns. The dog's like, okay. And the dog came back with guns. But, like, I've never played that game to the end, so I've never come across that situation. I don't know how many times you've made it to the end with the game.
I have. The first time we played with Kat, she didn't realize that she hadn't done the mission on her card.
Oh, no.
She was like, but I... And we're like, no, Kat, you didn't win. Nobody won now. Like... but no, I've played this game a lot of times, and there are a lot of different missions,
yes.
So some of them are a little easier to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it also is in question of whether you have a betrayer, because you're more likely to all die and fail well before the end of the game.
Or if you keep on dying from radiation when you leave the compound.
Well, you need to avoid rolling the 12-sided die. That's what you have to do in this game.
Yes.
It's always really amusing to me the first time someone gets bitten, though, in a game. And just that look on their face of... And it's just like, I'm just dead and there's nothing we can do about it? I'm like, yeah.
Welcome to the apocalypse. It's not sunshine and flowers.
Yes. So, now, would you place... Comparing games now.
Yeah.
Mafia to Cuba in the same boat as Battlestar Galactica.
No, not even close.
Well, I meant the whole... you get the accusatory,
close.
And then you have the... There's a dilemma.
Not even close.
Okay.
And the reason is because Mafia to Cuba, it relies too heavily on somebody to instigate conversation.
Sure.
There's nothing that's happening. And this is kind of the same thing that Resistance falls into.
Yes.
Like, and this is why I think Secret Hitler is a vastly superior game to Resistance, is because it forces some sort of cooperation for a common, air quotes, common goal for the policies that are enacted. And when something inevitably goes wrong, it gives you that impetus to be like, fuck this over. Who was it? It was you. I know it was you. You're Hitler, or at least a fascist. I'm going to punch you.
Have you ever played a game where the liberals won?
Yeah, a couple times.
Not the last two games we played.
Not the last two games I played. Not at all.
Thanks a lot, James.
Christina.
It was James's fault we lost both times.
And Christina's fault we lost both times.
Well, I mean... Yeah.
Christina did get shot. By Hitler. As a fascist. That was amusing.
That's really funny.
I don't... Especially if you play it odd number of people, it seems quite...
It's skewed against liberals if there's odd people.
Yeah, it didn't... The 2 times I played it, it didn't seem possible whatsoever for the liberals to win.
I'm going to disagree. But, I mean, we can. That's fine.
Yeah.
I played the game more, so I think I have a better opinion.
What about Werewolf?
I think Werewolf's interesting. I think it gets more interesting if you have like the more different roles that you have. Mm-hmm. I think it really depends on who you're playing with, and games that are that dependent on who you're playing with. I think Battlestar and Secret Hitler, you can play those games with a wider audience, much wider audience than you can play with like a fun game of Mafia to Cuba or Resistance to Werewolf. You can have fun games of those, but normally that takes a very certain type.
Basically, role players.
See, I would flip it the other way, because there are fewer people that I would want to come play Battlestar Galactica with me.
Just because of the length of the game?
The length of the game, and just like...
The length of the game's a killer.
I mean, that's definitely a lot of it.
I wonder if CJ's talking about... Like, at MagFest, CJ watched a game of Werewolf, and I had one of our friends. I've been trying to get a podcast going on. He knows who he is. I don't think he's listening to this. Anyways,
Matt.
Yes, he is comedian, improv guy, and so whenever he did something, he just went all out there,
I mean, that's
putting on a show.
Not necessarily what I'm referring to.
Okay.
Like, everybody in that group, aside from 2 people, were pretty verbose, knew each other, had no problem like talking and interacting. And like there's two other guys who just didn't say or do anything. And like the entire time I was watching, I was like, are they having any fun?
Mm-hmm.
Like, where's the interaction that they're experiencing? Or are they just having fun watching? If they're having fun watching, I'm watching and I'm having fun, but I don't have to play to do that.
Yeah.
And I know who the werewolves are, which makes it a lot more amusing.
Well, that can also be a strategy, being quiet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not my strategy, but other people's. But no, I feel like I've played like big groups of werewolf. The only problem is when we let the rules get complicated enough that people couldn't follow it, or if people were too drunk to follow the rules. Then you need to put it down, or they need to get out of the game. But
so, do you play board games without drinking?
Yes.
Okay.
Last night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
We played Indus last night. Oh, we played Not Alone last night.
How was that?
I was a monster. I won.
That didn't describe how was it.
Well, I have a very different opinion of the game than the person sitting next to me.
He's just mad because I won.
Wait, he just said he
no,
won.
Sorry,
You won Innis.
Sorry,
Yeah. So
games.
everybody else who was not the monster, so everybody else
Didn't like it.
yeah, he won that.
they thought the game was too difficult as the not monster.
Okay.
They thought the monster's win condition was just a lot easier to achieve.
It's a shorter track on that side of the board.
It is a shorter track, but not by much.
Mm-hmm.
I think it just took a couple turns for everybody to kind of understand, like, oh, and then by the time that it got to that point, like people had already played too many of their cards, and like they were just exposed. And I knew exactly where they were going, or at least I didn't need to know where everybody was going. I just needed to know where one person was going, and that was enough. And I got really lucky with some cards that just forced people to just discard cards, like they were just hemorrhaging. And yeah, Christina did not like that game. I made her discard like almost her entire hand.
So it's
She
almost
wasn't happy about that.
it's almost like Not Alone and Last Friday are exact opposites.
No, I think if we were to have played a second time, like it would have been a very different outcome.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wasn't as bothered by it as they were.
Yeah, I picked on Christina pretty hard.
You hit me a lot of times, though.
I did. Good guesses.
Yeah.
You know.
I think it's cause we think similarly strategy-wise, because I was always like, he's probably going to do this, and then I was right.
You should be the monster next time. Find out if that is actually true.
We'll find out. Yeah.
So have you come across many or any situations where board games made somebody dislike you or you dislike them?
Yes.
And not just strangers, but people you were
Yes.
acquaintances or friends.
Yes.
Would you like to describe any of those situations or no?
There are just some people that are just hyper aggressive. You know who I'm talking about. And when they play games,
Continue.
They're not friends with us anymore.
Oh, okay.
Now you know who I'm talking about.
Yes.
Okay. They just like those. Probably, if he would still be around, I'd probably still be friends with him. Like, we're not friends with him because we kicked him out the group or anything.
Yeah.
But I just didn't enjoy playing games with him. Like, he was just hyper aggressive, and sometimes the game didn't warrant that kind of response.
Mhm.
And then I also have friends that it drives me a little bit bonkers, but pretend to be sore losers before the game ends in order to game the game. Like, so people are like, oh, fine, fuck. You don't want me to go there. I get it. Stop being a sore fucking loser. But really what they're doing is manipulating you into doing exactly what they want you to do. I understand, like, that's the next level game, but that's not what this playing the game is supposed to be about. Like, that's exploiting human emotion.
Yeah.
I have a problem with people who cheat in that instance. Like, no, I played games with the guy I was dating and one of his friends, and she didn't like the outcome of the game. We were playing Firefly, and she had Zoe, and Zoe died.
Okay.
And she was like, can we just, like, make it that didn't happen? And we were all kind of like... And then she went along like it didn't happen, and then she was like, okay, fine, I'll do it. But, like... it bothers me.
Yeah.
And
like,
I had somebody else suggest, like, you know, changing a rule to make something easier for someone, and I've had that, encountered that quite a bit, especially with a guy wanting to make it easier for a girl so he can date her.
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Using games
Always find that irritating.
Wow, I've never come across any of that.
I've come across situations where I can see somebody's really disappointed in a move they made, and I'm like, and sometimes it's just because of the overlooked rule or something like, I can let you take that back because you didn't understand the rule. Like, now we know it's a learning experience. Just don't make the same stupid mistake again. That's fine. But yeah, if you're playing by the rules and the rules say you die, and you would have made the same decision if you had remembered the rules, like,
or if it's a card flip that kills you.
Yeah, just sometimes that happens.
Yeah,
it's part of the game.
Or the bite dice. You can't re-roll the bite dice either. Like,
isn't there a special? Maybe there's a special ability. I don't know.
How about you? Are there people that you won't play games with because they turn to bad people?
I mean, I can only think of two, and they're not including the one you mentioned, and they're no longer in the group. And it wasn't so much that games made them, like, playing the game, it was fine. It's just after the game they had a rotten attitude. Mm-hmm. But they were also making fun of people. Like, using things they said after they had left, like, the meetup, and, like, were making fun of it, making, like, inside joke about that. And that person's expense. And, like, I did not like that. And they're the people I was playing games most with at the time. So I was like, okay, I will tolerate it, even though I shouldn't have. But then eventually, like, they turned on me. But they did it to my...
As was inevitable.
Yeah, but they did it to my face, sort of. And I was kind of like, okay. And then they ran off, did their own thing, and then I kicked them out of the group. Only 2 people have ever kicked out of the group. But I don't know. I don't feel like... I mean, I almost feel like a lot of these instances you can think of better for me than myself. And...
Yeah, I don't know. Like, generally, I want to believe that if people are sword losers, they recognize that about themselves and they just don't show up to game events. Like, at your game events, I've never very rarely run into situations where I dislike playing with a person.
I mean, there's some people that I will use the word dislike, but it's more so perhaps I would, maybe dislike's not the bad. It's just I would prefer not to, because maybe they want to play a game that they don't understand. And sometimes you just want to play a game and you don't want to be teaching somebody every step along the way. But if they're not taught these steps along the way, and sometimes in great detail, they're not going to learn how to play. So hopefully in the future that would get better. But I've never had anybody in the middle of the game be like, except for Kittens in the Blender. Because I've had people who refuse to
blend a kitten.
Yeah. But they usually either quit the game mid-game or... Yeah, but that's not...
Yeah, on a more positive note, like, there's actually not a small number of people that I've met through the meetup who I'm not friends with. And I've played multiple games with them. And I feel like if I were to have taken the initiative and be like, hey, do you want to go grab a drink? Like, that would happen. And as opposed to, like, this is entirely different than, like, I met them a couple times in passing.
Yeah.
If I had spent the same amount of time with these people, like, at a party somewhere, would not feel so confident about, like, asking them just like, hey, you want to hang out?
Mhm.
Or two, what to do that. Like there's a perfect example of this is the last time that we were at the meetup at the library. I'm trying to remember what game we played. Oh, we played Clank. And it was this couple, and I remember I'd played with this couple probably over a year ago. And this is the second time that I've hung out with them.
Yeah.
And it took me a minute as they walked in the doors, like, I recognize you. And the moment, like, oh, right, yes, we played that one game together a year ago. And it was almost like fast friends. And then we played another game together. It's like, you guys are so fucking cool. Like, this is awesome. And that's after playing, like, 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Just hanging out for 90 minutes and playing a game. Like, I can't think of anything else aside from a massive amount of alcohol that makes anybody want to do that. Yeah, and I think that's the magic of games.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I've definitely, like I said, most of my friends that I've made, at least in the past few years, have all been through gaming. And, like, while I say I'm an extrovert, at the same time, if I go out, I'm more likely to keep to the people that I know and not, branch out and not chat up strangers. I don't like doing that. So, I make more friends through gaming.
Is there anything specific about gaming that makes you feel that way?
I guess, yeah, like you were saying, it's kind of a safe space. You just, like, you have something to talk about already, because it's right there. And usually, if I'm playing games with someone, they're already vouched for by someone else I know. So,
And
that helps.
Depending on the game, there's also probably a level of safeness because you're doing your own thing. Like, this is my spot. This is my character. This is my zone. This is what I'm doing. And it forces you to interact with people depending on the game, but in a limited and perhaps comfortable amount. Because, like, oh, I just had to interact with them on the board, so it's, okay, I can do this. Oh, well, hey, you did a cool move here. Or, oh, I was going to do that.
Curses.
I could be fake upsets, and since you're dealing with something on the board, it's a way to interact, but you're interacting with an inanimate object that doesn't interact back, but interact.
Passive aggressively.
Yes. So that could be the whole safe spaces you were talking about.
Yeah, I mean, you might have been out of the room when I said this earlier, but like the safe space is like, what do you lose when you lose the game? The game. That's it. You've just lost the game. You don't lose money or anything of like substantial value. Nothing that you can't leave at that game table. Yeah. Unless, of course, you're just a bad loser. And then you've outed yourself as that. And nobody wants to play games with you anymore.
Have you guys played with a lot of bad losers?
Nope.
I mean, outside of Zoe.
Oh, no. I mean, she's fine. But, no, I spend most of the game night, like, just being like, okay, she didn't enjoy this game. Let's play something that she will enjoy. Because I just want people to have fun.
Yeah.
Like, and that's usually when I get sore in a game, it's because, like, okay, that thing that you did, while, yes, it's going to make you win, now makes this game no fun for me for the rest of the game. Mm-hmm. And that was why Lenny and I got in that fight.
Right, because he stole your fun.
It was not just that he had done things that screwed me over in the game. It was that now I'm going to sit here and be able to do nothing for the rest of this game. Which, personally, I don't prefer to do to people. I played Monopoly, and I was winning, and it was the worst I've ever felt winning. All of my friends were miserable, and I felt like an awful person.
So is Monopoly?
Well, yeah, which brings up a good question. What game would you not play with people, with strangers? Let's just go with strangers. For whatever reason. Like, because it brings out the worst in you, or it brings out the worst in them, potentially, worst in other people, and, like, has a better chance of causing fights, and you only know you can play this game with certain people because of X number of reasons. So, what's the game and why?
Well, as I've said, probably both Monopoly and Risk
Mhm.
because of bad experiences.
I would agree with both of those universally.
And they're also the kind of games, which is probably the one thing that will drive me nuts the most, is people quitting in the game. Like, everyone just says, oh, we're not going to play anymore. And then I'm left to being like,
But
I wanted to finish the game.
It's my turn to answer, and I'm trying to think of the only. I can't think of any because I feel like I haven't. I feel like I'm bad at answering these questions. I feel like I haven't played a game that makes people angry.
I heard Munchkin makes a lot of people angry.
Well, that's because you just want it to end. It won't.
Yeah, nobody's angry at each other in Munchkin. They're normally just angry with the game because it was supposed to end like 2 hours ago.
I won't play Kittens in a Blender anymore, if anybody.
Okay.
Mainly just the fear of somebody not blending kittens, and then the game goes on forever. I won't play... I feel like most of my won't plays, it's more so a reflection on the game than actual people. Like, because I can't recall... I don't have a Monopoly or Risk experience where somebody gets just so frustrated.
I think my friend was still digging like Risk horses out of their carpet like years after we played that game because the person I was dating at the time like got super upset, literally table flipped.
Oh, this Risk fight ended that way, I'm pretty sure.
And then like proceeded to take the little pieces and chuck them at people across the room. She was a very feisty woman.
Why didn't she just flip the board? I guess she was angry.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of a flimsy table.
Okay. Like, I've only played Risk, like, once or twice. Maybe that's my problem.
No, that's not a problem at all.
My experience problem.
I won't play Survived Space Attack or Survive Atlantis with strangers anymore.
Okay, stranger. So let's say I was like, you own.
I love that game, and I will play it with people who I know will also love that game.
Be okay with Take That sort of games.
Be okay with that very extreme version of Take That, because that is every turn. Every turn, you're taking it hard. And some like playing with strangers, like you don't know them, and the game's colorful and inviting, and like you get in there and like, well, why did you do that to me? You're being a jerk. I was like, this is the game, man. We play the game, and he's like, I don't want to play this game. This is mean.
See, my approach in that situation is I usually will tell you you're being a jerk, but I'm also like still enjoying the game. Me telling you you're being an asshole is part of the fun of the game.
He wasn't actually telling me that I was an asshole, but I could see it on his face that he was not having a good time. Like, he's like, babe, why? Why did you do that to me?
I'm pretty sure I said I hate you a few times when we were playing Battlestar Galactica.
And I probably responded by smiling.
You know, I feel like the most obvious examples would be like Good Cop, Bad Cop. But all the situations where somebody would react like that were all happened to me. Like when I play with Brian, and the first thing he does is take the gun. Second turn, it just shoots me. So it's like they all take their frustration out of me. So like I'm the one.
Brian's frustration. I think that's just him watching the world burn.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Frustration is not the correct word. People see. They should see that anger of like, I don't hate this game. You guys keep on shooting me first. Actually, now that I can remember, we didn't play test this game. We'll never play that because I will get angry. I played it only twice. Both times, the dealer won first turn, first move. Twice in a row.
Fantastic game.
Same time. I was like, nope, I'm out. You guys can play it. And I just like walked away. It's like, nope.
I mean, there's a difference between playing a bad game and being upset with the game, or playing a game that is potentially a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And just the way that the game forces you to interact with people. Monopoly is a great example of this because it's so cutthroat, and like
Well, trying to be nice only makes it worse. It
Yeah.
just makes it last longer.
And it's already a long game.
I don't think I've played a full game of it.
I have a soft spot for Monopoly, though, because when I was a lonely child, I would read books and play Monopoly by myself. So this is the story of my life.
Winning.
Yes, exactly. I loved Monopoly.
Would you
because
play-
I always won.
Was it multiple characters or was it just like one little
Multiple
piece?
characters.
Okay. Ideal number of players?
Oh, full complement of players, just all me.
Did you like walk around the table and have different seats, or did you stay?
I think I stayed in the same place, but we all had names. Different
Okay.
names.
And was it just dog and car? So how did that relationship go?
No, I had to murder parts of my personality.
I am the survivor. There can only be one.
We learned so much about Alyssa, just by even talking about games.
It's true.
Speaking of like learning things, what is the most exciting thing relationship-wise that's come from playing games with people in your experience?
Awesome friends?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. Is that the sort of answer that you're looking for with that question? I don't know. I haven't dated anybody that I've gamed with.
Okay.
If that was where you were going.
I mean, not necessarily that. Like,
Okay.
if any, I hate to say, like, name your best experience of playing a game with somebody, but like the most like something really cool happened involving somebody, not just like we became super friends, but
Okay, so you met John.
Campbell, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
feel like there's a couple-
Use his full name.
I did. Sorry. I mean, I didn't want to call. I guess I could have called him Ohio John.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you know a couple Johns. Or we
Everybody
know.
knows a couple Johns.
Yes. So I just wanted to make sure.
So
Hi, John.
I met him through D&D.
Yes.
Arguably a game. Maybe not as like manufacturer product wise, because like you have to rely on other people on the table. But like the first story that we shared, like we both remember what that story was and like what went down and what was awesome about it and how we like the characters that we were playing. Like he was playing a stoic monk elf that thought all humans were just idiots. And I played an idiot human pirate that was loud and boastful. What's funny is that our personalities are pretty much reversed. Except he's not an idiot. He's actually pretty damn smart. But
Nice save.
whatever. I mean, his character's intelligence wasn't super high. He was just wise.
Got it.
But yeah, like we had adventures together, and we remembered that. And I would be hard pressed to say that we would have become as fast friends, or maybe even friends at all, if we didn't have that shared experience. And we stayed friends for other reasons. Like there were other people at that game table that we didn't stay friends with, but like there's that spark. I don't want to say it was love at first sight, but yeah, like we were pretty fast friends after that, and a lot of what we talked about that revolved around like gaming, game tables. It gave us like this shared
Common platform to talk.
exactly, and that eventually grew much more. And we can talk about other things other than games now after like 13 years, but yeah, it's. I have very fond memories of like that, which is obviously evident big that I remember that after over a decade.
Now, did you say that you knew him beforehand, or did you like show up to this RPG event and that's the first time you
He
met
was
him?
my next door neighbor, and I just moved to town, and I was chasing a girl, and she had told him that I was into D&D, and so he's like, I play in D&D, so he invited me along. So that was it. Like that was like the first weekend that I was there.
Got it.
Yeah. I feel like for my part, I've gotten friends who I feel more comfortable with and who I think accept me for who I am, more so than previous friendships, I guess. Yeah.
I guess not to say that your answers weren't good enough, but
you have a better answer?
No.
No, because I want to hear it.
No. I think how to word the question I was looking for is more of reward, although friendship is its own reward. I was kind of cheesy there.
Tell your story.
I don't.
Story.
I mean, it's not like something huge. It's just, I've met a lot of cool people from the meetup group, and there is one particular guy who's like, "Oh yeah, hey, I know Alan Moon or whatever that does the, what's that? Something with friends. It's like this, invite only convention. He mentions like, "Oh yeah, I'll try to get you in." So that was like, it's invite only, and it's supposed to be like people in the industry only event. And so like big name game designers, they'll have like new playtest stuff. Okay. I haven't been officially accepted, but he said he was going to try to, and that's unprovoked or anything. I was like, oh wow. So I guess that's what I meant by reward.
Oh, okay. So,
yeah.
So not just like gaining new friends out of it.
Because that's the whole topic of this episode. Right. We've been gushing about how like, we meet new friends and connect and get close with people. So, I feel like that was a little too easy of an answer.
I don't know. How's this for meta? I'm on a podcast that I would not be on had I not met you through games.
True. This is true.
Boom.
Don't drop the mic. We don't want to break another one.
I didn't break the mic. I just broke the stand.
I didn't say you broke the stand. I just said we don't want to break another one.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That was not accusatory.
I understand, but I still the mic did not break.
Yes, this is true. The mic stand broke. Yes,
not from me dropping it.
No,
that's also true. Do you have any like particular game moments that you've shared with like your friends that you feel like you'll always have? Shrug.
I feel like I have a couple. One that just happened recently that I thought was really cool, and even though I didn't even play, it was loads of fun to watch and oversee. It was playing giant epic zombicide 14 versus 14 capture the flag game, and like I was just the moderator, and like I didn't play at all, but like
you designed it though.
Yeah, and it was just this cool thing to see these two groups of people like working together and just seeing how they're going to tackle the board and get to the center, and then just watch one team run away with it, quite literally. Not run away with the game, but the flag. So that, and then I mean there were some parts where I had to make up rules on the fly, but like it was quite a unique and standout experience because never done it before, and there's no rules for it. Well, no like printed out official rules.
Right.
So that's a standout and most recent time.
And I know, like, we've talked about it a lot this game, this episode, and most episodes, but Battlestar has those moments. Like, so Sam and Opinion and I, like, we share, like, a game that we will never, ever forget. Because Sam was the admiral and I was the president.
I was there for that game.
Were you there?
Yeah, it was at my old place, the townhouse.
Where we were playing the
expansion.
Yeah.
The Pegasus expansion?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Continue.
And I was the Cylon as the president. And so I used my quorum card to look at Sam's because he was the admiral. And he was also the Cylon. And so I gave it back to him. He's human. And everybody gives a sigh of relief and wonder who the fuck the Cylon is. And Sam and I, just eye laser each other, we know. We got this. And so we were playing the one where they're on
Caprica. Or New
New
Caprica.
Caprica. And they're trying to like load up the population ships and get out. And then Sam shows up and just FTLs the ship away immediately before loading up any population. And everybody else is like, what just happened? And like that, like I'm laughing, Sam's laughing, Opinion and Adam are just like, I can't believe that just happened, because nobody knew who was what. Like, it was.
Yeah.
I think werewolves like that for me, actually. My friend Dave and I, we were werewolves. He was made. Like, they had him. They completely trusted me.
Mm.
And I took his biggest accuser and said I swapped their cards. And nobody knew what to do with that. And we won because of it. Because we had convinced him that he was now a werewolf, because he was sure that... and they're both named Dave, so I can't distinguish them.
There's a
Trickster, or troublemaker. Sorry.
Okay.
There's a character that does it, but she's saying she didn't actually swap them, but she convinced them she did.
Uh-huh. It was great.
Well done.
I also remember Zaya when we were playing, when I had the grappling hook and you took me for a ride.
Awesome game moments. Like, and these will stick with your friendship. I think they strengthen them. Like, and I don't say that lightly. I think we are better friends now that you.
So
have
we
that
need to play
grappling
another
hook.
Zaya.
Bring it. Yeah, because I mean, these are high intensity moments that like they stick in your memory and they like form a bond like with the people that you share them with. This is why people don't go like going to intense movies by themselves. Like, going with people feels better, even though you're in a dark room. You get to share experience with somebody. You have a shared memory.
I don't feel the exact same way with movies as with games, because I feel movies, since you're not really interacting with the person next to you, or the person in front of you, or the person behind you, unless they're interacting with the movie.
But you still invite me to movies.
Yeah.
Which means you
but
at
like,
least like to go to movies a little bit more with other people than by yourself.
I mean, I have no problem going to see a movie.
I know you don't
myself.
have any problem with it, but
I do. It's not fun.
Okay. Maybe it's
I
just
did it
me.
once and I didn't like it.
What movie was it?
It was, what was that movie? Had Jesse Eisenberg. It was an indie movie.
was the one where he was the American Ultra or whatever it is?
No.
Ultra Red?
No.
It's like about eco-terrorism. I can't remember what it's called right now. But it was an artsy movie. I went to see it instead of seeing Batman versus Superman with my friends.
Probably made the right choice. And then you ended up seeing
Batman
Batman versus Superman with your other friends.
Yeah,
later.
and we spent the whole time making fun of it, and it was great.
Did you all, like, say, four of you show up and you're like, we're going to go to Batman vs. Superman? You're like, I'm going to go this way. Was that the situation?
Kind of, yeah. Like, we were getting drinks together beforehand. They were like, we're going to go see a movie. You want to come with us? And I'm like, I don't want to see that movie. I'm going to go see another movie by myself. Bye.
Obviously, that movie made a large impact on you. Is it possible the movie was bad and therefore...
No, it was a really good movie. I just
okay.
can't remember the title of it right now. It's just escaping me. But yeah.
That being said, I also enjoy playing board games by myself.
I don't enjoy playing board games by myself. That's not why I play games.
I'd much rather play with other people.
Well, I mean, I just picked up... I just picked up a solo game, and I've played it tons. I love it. And it's only solo. It doesn't play more people.
It's a
I
puzzle.
actually find I'd also prefer to play games with more than one person, too. Like, if it's just one other person, I don't feel like it's the same.
I agree. Yeah. Like, I will only play certain games head-to-head in most of those games because it is only a head-to-head game. Like, what?
5.
Well, I know you don't particularly care for it, but Star Wars Destiny, and
It's not that I don't particularly care for it. It's just that it requires an investment that I am unwilling to give. I shed myself of Magic cards. I don't need to go back to something that's nominally the same thing.
But this time it's got big old chunky dice.
Yeah, well, you also know my opinion on dice.
You love them. But, like, I wouldn't be, like... CJ and I played Z-Pocalypse 2-player just for the sake of learning to finally play it before we talked to the guy who works at Greenbrier Games.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't go out of my way to play that game 2-player. In most games, I wouldn't go out of my way unless it's a 2-player only game, or maybe Imperial Assault Skirmish, since most of the modes are just 2-player. So, and occasion, like, just special occasion games, but I agree with you not wanting to play 2 players.
I have a generally hard time to convince myself to play. Like, I love playing 2-player games, but it's just rare to find that kind of one. It's a different type of person, I think. You have to be okay with knowing that you are pitted against a single other person. You can't blame somebody on the kingmaker. You can't blame somebody on, like, the randomness. Like, if you're playing a game of chess, like, you've got some ego on the line, and so, like, there's some sort of, like, and that heightens the competitiveness.
Yeah. And you can't take it easy on that person.
Right.
I mean, you could, but then you lose, like, instead of, like, like playing a 3-player game, instead of attacking CJ, I attack Alyssa.
Right.
And be like, oh, well, see, I'll lay off.
I've effed with you enough.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick on somebody else now.
Yeah.
Like, there's none of that in a 2-player game. Like, you are just on them all the time. I don't have a problem with that in Star Realms, because there's enough chance and whatnot. You can, like...
And if you're picking on them, then eventually it's just like, oh, well, I'm just going to do this one move. It just wipes you out, and it's over.
Right.
Now, what about cooperative 2-player games?
I've actually done that. I played a Dead of Winter 2-player cooperative game. It was kind of fun.
You play Dead of Winter 2 players?
Yep.
I didn't know.
There's a modification for it.
Oh, okay.
It worked out. It was a good time. It's just I prefer it with more people.
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying to play Pandemic Cthulhu with Erin.
She doesn't like it, or you don't like it?
I like it. I like it just fine. She just hasn't played it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because
I understand. I thought you said you were trying to, and then there was, like, going to be like, but it turned out awful.
No, I have not played a cooperative 2-player game. And we haven't played a cooperative 2-player game, have we?
We'll say no.
I'm also going to say no.
We don't have too many cooperative games outside of Pandemic and...
Well, all the dungeon games.
Dungeon games?
Dungeon Delvers.
Well, never played those 2-player.
Right.
And we haven't played Alien Deck Builder 2-player yet.
Right.
We just did 3.
Right.
So we don't have an answer.
Correct.
And that's it.
But I would. I don't have any problem with it.
Yes.
It's just, it's no different in my mind. You're just taking your turn more often. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, that will wrap up episode 33. Relationships and games and experiences and life and movies and more games and...
More board games.
Yes, board games.
And drinking.
Oh, yes. Thanks, Alyssa.
You're welcome.
I think we're about to go to a bar after this, actually.
Oh. Do you not have work tomorrow?
I do.
Whatever. Oh,
But,
you work from home, so...
I work from home, and, yeah, Erin's out of town.
Party over there.
We're going to a bar.
All right, that will do it for this episode. Once again, all our social media is NT Board Games. If you're listening this on SoundCloud, be sure to like it. And if it's on iTunes, feel free to give us a great rating. And I don't think I have any housekeeping things.
Have you heard about BlurredCon?
No.
Okay. It's on Kickstarter right now.
There's a lot of cons on Kickstarter.
Yes. It's a Washington, D.C. local.
Oh, you know what? Actually, yes, I have. That's the one that's specializing in disabled, right?
Minority.
Minority. Okay.
Yeah. So, Blurred is, apparently, I just learned this today. Blurred is a combination of black nerd.
Okay.
So it is a minority-specific con. It is going to be hosted in Alexandria in the last weekend of June, first weekend of July.
Okay.
It is on Kickstarter right now. That is how they are gaining funds for it. But yeah, it is all about inclusivity in gaming, making safe spaces for everybody. So definitely go support.
That's a nice little plug.
Yeah.
Alyssa, do you have a plug you would like?
Not yet. My web series isn't ready yet.
What type of web series?
It's called Superheroes Anonymous.
Is this a webcomic, story, written
It is
story?
a live-action web series about superheroes in therapy.
So it's video.
Yes.
Cool. And what is your part in it?
Everything, pretty much.
Oh.
I am the
She
director,
plays
I'm the writer, producer,
all the roles.
editor. I do not play all the roles. I actually could have played a role, and I was like, no, too many things to do already. I also did a lot of the camera work, and yeah, I'm editing it.
Cool.
So, though I can't take full credit for the writing. Some of my friends helped me write it, and they're very funny, and I appreciate them.
So it helps having funny friends.
Yeah, one of them, he does improv and stand-up comedy, so he's probably the funniest person I know.
Helps having funny friends who are available and not just like, oh, I'm just going to get drunk.
Yeah, now you just got to settle with me, asshole. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
All right, bye.
Oh, you're still recording. I thought you said bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, you've been saying let's play some games.
Oh, let's play some games.